first thing I wanted to do was dance with that chord. What I want to make sure you understand is that, as has been stated, we're here to acknowledge and recognize and celebrate the work that our congressman has done for us, and I can't be happier with everything that's been done in Washington D.C. by Representative Cuellar and what he's done to make I-27 come along and to make I-69 come along. So he is an amazing proponent for transportation, and obviously that makes the work that we do here able to be done. The things that I'm just going to start, and after that I'm going to stick to a script. I like to speak extemporaneously, but I want to give you granular information, and so I'm going to be doing some reading here to get the statistics correct. Okay, but I am excited about what's going on right now because Texas is at roughly 30 million people currently, has been growing. I'll give you some information about that in a second, the history from 2010 to 2020. But the expectation, according to the state demographer, is somewhere around 44 to 47 million people around the year 2050. So if you have your eye on the future, we have to have more interstate infrastructure to move the goods, to move the people, to take care of 45 or 50 million folks, or 40 million folks, whatever the number turns out to be. We're still bringing a lot of folks into Texas. So you have to have congressmen like Congressman Cuellar who are helping to make these interstates happen, because with one interstate, I-35, headed north and south, we simply are not going to get this taken care of and meet the needs of 45 million people. So I-27, I-69, I-35 in combination, and then when you're going east and west, you have 10 and 20, and you have 40 up in the Panhandle and 14 on the horizon. This state is really being put together at the congressional level, at the state level, and at the local level, because that's frankly the way this works. It takes pushing on the wheel at all the levels. You have to have the mayors and you have to have the councils, you have to have the county commissions, you have to have the statewide level folks, and it just takes everybody pushing on the wheel to make these happen. But you don't get designated and you don't get federal recognition as an interstate without a congressman. And so thank you so much for what you've done. Okay? From there, I'll just go straight to this script and stick with it so I can give you the right numbers. All right? So there are over 13,000 employees, or soon will be, at TxDOT, and I'm here to represent them and appreciate them for all that they do. There are more than 80,000 lane miles of roads in Texas, and building more all the time. And so I'm here to make sure that you know that I'm proud of them and that we are trying to make these things happen as I just talked about. As you know, Texas is growing. In from 2010 to 2020, we added nearly 4 million people. We are adding more than 1,000 a day, according to a state representative at the West Texas Legislative Summit just a couple of days ago. He said the number right now is running around 1,300 people a day coming into the state of Texas. So with that and what I told you about the projected number in a couple of decades or so, 25 years from now, you can see we have got to have our eye on the infrastructure ball and be moving forward with what we do. This growth means more cars and trucks on our roads, more traffic at our ports, and more cargo coming and going from our airports. It means more rail cars carrying more products, more goods for freight, more jobs, and more goods moved through and beyond our state. Let me share a bit about where we are today. The I-69 system in Texas is about 1,088 miles long, stretching through 66 cities and towns, 34 counties, and 8 TxDOT districts and 8 MPOs, which are metropolitan planning organizations, if there's anyone that's not familiar. To date, 172 miles, or 15.8% of the I-69 system, has been designated as interstate. 87 miles, or 7.9%, have been constructed but not yet designated as interstate. 29 miles are being constructed to extend I-69, and 800 miles are planned for the future expansion of the I-69 system. That means the majority of the I-69 system, 77.7%, does not yet meet interstate standards. So this is a long slog, and you got to stay after it and push. And frankly, the fact that we have more money now is what's allowing us to move and get some things done. Once the highway sections have been upgraded to the interstate standards, TxDOT will request interstate highway designation from the Federal Highway Administration and AASHTO. This summer, TxDOT's Corridor Planning Branch began the interstate designation process for 2 sections of US 59 recently constructed to interstate standards. One is in an approximately 12-mile section in the Fort Bend County area in the Houston District, from existing I-69 to the Fort Bend-Wharton County line. The other is a 4-mile section in Liberty County in the Beaumont District, from existing I-69 to the Cleveland, Texas area. Now, at I-69 and the Laredo District. To drill down into I-69 in Laredo specifically, the road originally designated, I live in a town that has a street that is Harris Street and then Pecos Street and then Sherwood Way, and it's the same street. And so I'm sitting here right now feeling very empathetic for you guys, because you started as State Loop 20 and then you're US 59 and you're going to be I-69. So there will be confused people for the next 2 decades as it relates to Grandpa saying, you know, we're on Loop 20 and Dad saying US 59 and everybody's saying, I thought it was an interstate. So welcome to that. But anyway, you have I-69 coming on. The existing interstate highway 69 West begins at the World Trade International Bridge and extends to I-35, approximately 1.8 miles. So far, there's been one project built for the existing Interstate Highway 69 West here in Laredo, totaling 1.73 miles at a cost of $13.9 million. So as you hear that, it's running about $8 to $8.5 million a mile. 3 projects that were constructed on US 59 in preparation for the designation as Interstate Highway 69 West, totaling almost 4 miles at a cost of $37.82 million. There are 7 US 59 projects that will let for construction this month. After construction, the district will request designation as Interstate Highway 69 West. The projects will add approximately 7 more miles to the Interstate 69 West system, with a total construction cost, this one's mind-boggling, of $309 million. But that's what happens when we get involved in an interchange. So bringing certain highways together and being at different levels and those kinds of things. And so that's why that's going to cost significant money, but it's going to do significant good. 3 projects included in the 2024 UTP, or United Transportation Program, their Unified Transportation Program at TxDOT, with construction funding totaling more than 20 miles at a cost of more than $400 million. And 4 projects that are unfunded, future Interstate Highway 69 West Corridor projects totaling more than 50 miles and more than $750 million are still out there. The I-69 investments. Multiple projects are under construction or planned to upgrade the system to interstate standards. These investments include currently 24 projects spanning 84.4 miles that are under construction as we speak. We have 38 projects covering an extra 137.3 miles that are fully funded in TxDOT's 2023 Unified Transportation Program, and 33 potential projects consisting of 198.8 miles that are unfunded or partially funded. And we will vote on the 2024 Unified Transportation Program in another couple of weeks. So in the 2023 UTP, there are $2.94 billion in fully funded projects and $106.5 million in partially funded projects to bring highways up to interstate standards, totaling approximately $3.05 billion. And so 2024 draft UTP is currently out for public review and comment until August the 7th. Will be considered for adoption by the Commission on August the 16th. The draft UTP includes many construction projects that would upgrade the roadways that comprise the I-69 system to interstate standards. So from there, we're making good strides, have miles to go before we sleep, miles and miles of Texas. So thank you guys very much for having me here today, and thank you again, Congressman Cuellar, for all that you do.